Patrick, who'd Billy want you to fight?
Kawhi. That during the third quarter, Kawhi, they kind of ran pretty much the same play kind of 3-4 times in a row, and he just came off and hit kind of 3-4 threes in a row and kind of got him going. And I mean, it was I was there. I was contesting it. I think I might have even tipped one, and it still went in. So he called a timeout, and it was kind of just figured out. I mean, it wasn't a game plan to kind of stop that. I mean, great players, I mean, you just gotta find a way, and that's kind of what he wanted me to do. So that's what he meant when he said just fight him.
That's another big time of defensive assignment for you. You've had a few. How do you think you fared in this one? Obviously, his stat line is going to be incredibly gaudy, but how did you think you fared in this one? And you've talked a lot about learning from each one. What do you think you learned from Kawhi?
I learned a lot from Kawhi. I think a lot of guys know this, but that was or is my favorite player. I watched a lot of his film, just growing up and things like that. So I learned everything from him, really, just from the mid post, kind of how he, even when he wasn't involved in the play, he was still telling guys where to be, things like that. And he was just always involved, even if he wasn't technically involved in the play. So things like that. And then just defensively, how to use your hands and your arms to get deflection, get steals like that. And that kind of translates to, teammates and things like that. And then he started going on a run and started to get stopped. So like I said, I mean, I've learned a lot, honestly, just 11 games in, and I'm just going to try to continue to learn.
Thanks.
Mike, you got the next one. Go ahead.
Hey, Patrick, I know a lot of fans and a lot of media like to compare you to or use Kawhi Leonard as a comparison for what you could be. What do you think about that relationship? Do you see any similarities between you, or do you use him as a model of what you want to become?
Part of the reason why he was my favorite player is because I did see a lot of similarities. I tried to pick up on things kind of that he does. I've been trying to do that since high school. In my year in college, I try to do it even more. So, I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely see the potential that I have to be a player like him. Definitely like a two-way player that can get stops, guard the best player, and then also be, a reliable offensive talent. So I talk a lot about being a two-way player, and that's kind of, he's kind of the model of a great two-way player. So I definitely look up to him in his game, and it was just a blessing to be out there and play against him today.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, see, go ahead.
Patrick, I wanted to ask you about your three-point shooting. It's obviously a longer distance in college, and you've looked comfortable shooting it. Has that adjustment been easy for you? Have you been surprised at how well you've shot it through 11 games?
I mean, it's just reps. For sure, it's different. You got guys heavily contesting now. So in college, it was kind of just a hand. Now you got guys really, jumping at you and things like that. So I just think the longer the season goes, the more comfortable I get, then the better I get with it. And then I got guys that love to, after practice, shoot with me. Pretty much all the guys I've shot with, they, give me tips. Just yesterday, I was talking to GT, and I kind of take like a rhythm dribble. And just yesterday, he was telling me that he won't have time for that, and we got up a lot of shots, just catch and shoot, quick release. So that definitely helped today, and that was kind of something that I focused on. So I think as the season goes on, not only me but the rest of the guys will shoot better as well, just because we get more reps.
Darnell, you're up. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Patrick, I was going to ask you about the three-point shooting too, but since you just addressed it, I do want to know from you, with the matchups that you've had lately, not that anything in the NBA is going to be easy, but do you feel like, it can't get any harder than it's been in these first 11 for you, given the matchups that you've had, and the next 61 could just be a little bit smoother now that you've gotten some of those marquee guys out of the way?
I mean, kind of like you said, I mean, it's the NBA. Every guy guard has a chance to go out there and kind of get 30. I mean, whether it's Tim Hardaway from Dallas or LeBron James. I mean, they all have the ability, the talent, and the skill to go out there and just impose their will offensively. So, I mean, every game is a different challenge. I wouldn't say one is harder than the other, but I mean, it's definitely different every game. You just gotta kind of learn how to take it game by game, approach each game as that game, you know, with its own obstacles, his own course, and then when that game's over, just be able to lock into the next game plan, to the next guy that I have to guard. So that's pretty much what I'm learning, just how to lock in game after game after game after guarding so many different players. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much been the main focus.
And then just one more on Kawhi, specifically, just because he was your role model from a basketball standpoint. What was that like for you going up against him? What was it like being on the court with him for you?
I mean, on the court, you really don't get a chance to really look at him as your idol or the guy that you look up to. I mean, he's the guy that I have to guard. So I mean, coming to the game, it wasn't any jitters or anything. He was just another guy that I had to guard. But I mean, for sure, probably on a plane ride back, I probably just start thinking like, man, I really played against Kawhi Leonard, a guy that I've seen on film for so many years. I watched so much film with him. So, and I mean, I did the same thing with LeBron. I mean, coming to the game, it was just, I got to guard LeBron. But after the game, it was kind of time to sit there and kind of sit back and kind of just reflect on where I am and the journey to get here. So it's been a blessing for sure, but I haven't really even thought about him as the Kawhi Leonard yet. He's just another guy I had to guard.
Did you get to say something to him? Did he say anything to you? Any cool moments out there?
Pretty much the same as LeBron. Kind of after the game, he just kind of told me to keep working, keep going. He kind of liked how I play, and obviously so. But I mean, he's kind of like him. So he said he kind of liked how I played, and both him and Paul George kind of gave me some good words. So I mean, I'll definitely hold those and just keep working, like they said.
All right, thank you.
Rob, it looks like you got the last question for Patrick. Go ahead.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, Patrick, I just wanted to ask you, 11 games, 11 starts in your NBA career. It seems like you've been thrown into the fire, straight out the gate a lot. I'm just wondering kind of, do you appreciate that approach to kind of the early part of your career, your development? And what's your relationship like with Billy as your first NBA coach, as he kind of puts you in these positions? Like what are his tactics for doing that?
Well, I mean, first of all, just to talk about, 11 games, 11 starts. I mean, you just got to take it for what it is. I couldn't really think a lot about, man, I'm thrown into the fire. Man, I didn't have a summer league. Man, I barely had a preseason. I mean, you just got to roll with it. So I think I did a great job of that, along with, my teammates. They've kind of kept me straight. They don't let me think about what I didn't have, but just look at the opportunities that I have and focus on what I have to do. And then as far as Billy, I mean, we have definitely a close relationship. I mean, early you heard him talking about telling me to fight Kawhi. So I mean, we just have that kind of relationship where he gets the best out of me, and I trust him. I mean, it was times in the huddle where he might yell at you, but you got to know that he just wants to win, and he wants you to get better. He wants the best for you. So I mean, we definitely have that relationship. To where anything he says, I know is to get me better on or off the court. So I mean, he's really a good guy too. So I mean, it's easy to listen to him and kind of pick up the things that he says. So
Thank you.
Casey, why don't you go with the last one here, please?
Yeah, sorry. Real quick, Patrick, you mentioned the encouraging words from Paul, George, and Kawhi. Did you happen to see what LeBron said about you after the game the other night? And if so, what was your reaction?
I haven't seen it completely. One of our assistant coaches kind of showed me a little bit before we ran out today, but I haven't really seen it fully. And I was kind of in game mode, so I wasn't really paying attention to what he was showing me. It was on his phone, so I wasn't really paying attention. But I really haven't seen what he said.
Well, he said he was very complimentary of you. So do you have a reaction to LeBron James complimenting your game?
I mean, just that's another one of those moments where I mean, I'll probably look back on it on the plane and just realize how blessed and be grateful for it. I mean, to me, like I said, it was just a guy that had the guard, but kind of on a plane ride back, I'll be able to look at him as you know, LeBron James, one of the greatest players to ever play the game. So for him to come, I'm not sure exactly what he said, but for him to compliment my game in any way is a blessing. So I'm just grateful.